Hi, my name is Michael Bright, and I am the Chief Financial Officer of the Hemp Connoisseur magazine, which is found nationally in Barnes & Noble stores across the nation. You can get it, and the reason you'd want to get it is because not only do we cover all things cannabis, it's the premier guide to all things cannabis, so we pay attention to the THC side of it. We also explain what's going on with the medical side, and then we also pay very much attention to the industrial hemp side of it. So it's all things cannabis, and we also have covered different products like different articles like cryptocurrency, and I've spoken both at this cryptocurrency conference and then the last one also. So anyway, I can talk more if you want me to, but click.
Did you find any good takeaways from the presentations today so far?
Absolutely. Probably the brain trust that is fascinating to me, because we have people from both the crypto cannabis industry but also the cryptocurrency industry, but also the cannabis industry, and it's that intersection that we find most interesting. What can we do over here to make that work, and vice versa?
My name is Christopher Baldwin. I'm here because I have an interest in the entrepreneurial side of the cryptocurrency and the cannabis industries. And what I'm working on is I'm trying to develop my business for people who can come to the Community Business Center of Denver and have an address where they can start working on their businesses. I also am working on a solution to the banking problems with the cryptocurrency and the cannabis industry, and I think I have a pretty well developed solution. I'm here to learn if I actually have a viable solution to that. That's the reason why I came, because I really need more information to know if I'm heading in the right direction or if I need to sit down and rethink the whole thing.
Have you heard anything interesting yet?
Yeah, pretty much everything I've heard has been interesting. I think the most interesting thing that I've heard, I was talking to Charles downstairs, and he's introduced me to some concepts of the legal aspects that involve the banking. And it's pretty interesting how complicated things can get with the money and how far back it goes. Like as soon as the money is used for one thing, then it's no longer valid, which is, it doesn't make much sense to me. So it's very interesting.
My name is Dave Bratcher, and I'm here at the CryptoCannabis convention, basically because I see the need for alternate forms of currency, for one thing, and I'm also a seed breeder, and I specialize in landrace strains of cannabis and hemp, strictly from a research standpoint and a preservation standpoint at this moment. But I see the benefits of both the industries, and this is the two largest industries that could be ever in this country if managed properly.
Do you think they can do it legally?
Well, my personal opinion is the federal government is afraid to attack the states where the states have already where their constituents have made known what they want with their laws. So I think Sessions and Trump will hold off, because the states would then sue the feds if they tried to mess with it. And I believe the Supreme Court will rule in the favor of the states, and that's sort of the way I see it shaking out. So I think everything's going to be nip and tuck and sort of fly by the seat of our pants, and hopefully people will have wisdom and foresight and keep the prize, keep the prize in view there, what the long range view is, because cannabis is one thing and currency is just a mechanism of exchanging goods or services. So hemp is the key to the future. Hemp would be 100 times bigger than cannabis could be.
We're good.
Okay, so my name is Dave Rodman. I'm the managing member of the Rodman Law Group. This is Catherine Berry. She's my paralegal. We sponsored this event because, as a cannabis attorney who has also started to dive into cryptocurrency, I immediately saw a synergy between cryptocurrency and cannabis, specifically because of the way Colorado regulates funding for these companies. It's incredibly hard. There's a lot of hoops to jump through. And just as people with cryptocurrency have talked about banking problems, I assure you they are far more intense in the cannabis industry. As an example of that, I'm a lawyer. I have what's called a COLTAF account. It is a client trust account. It's administered by the state of Colorado, but it was held at Wells Fargo. I got it canceled, which is a pretty big deal because you're basically saying that the state of Colorado is not okay to manage those funds. It was a blessing in disguise. I moved to First Bank. They have been wonderful, far easier to work with us on a day-to-day basis. Nothing special, nothing to do with cannabis or cryptocurrencies. They've been great just as a customer. They've been fantastic. So thank you, Wells Fargo, if you're listening. I guess as far as misconceptions or what I think was achieved here today is I thought that I went out of my way to explain to people that while this is not necessarily normal, it's not the U.S. banking system, cryptocurrency is not on its face illegal, and cannabis is. And so I think my main mission was to show people in the cryptocurrency world that the cannabis world is very, very much aligned with those who participate in the cryptocurrency world, and there are a lot of benefits to the two of them partnering. There's a lot of like-minded individuals in both groups, and the amount of fear-mongering that I saw here today of people saying things that they did not understand, people who were not qualified to talk about what the SEC thinks or doesn't think or says or hasn't said about the Howey test or about what an ICO is or whether you be on Ethereum or Bitcoin. I think that my practice, I try to fight for the little guy, but also just to give people knowledge, and with knowledge, the fear can be mitigated because there are things to fear. There are absolutely things to fear, but the things that people were talking about fearing were not things that should be feared.
That's why events like this are such a great opportunity for people who are on the legal side of things or in different arenas to come together and share knowledge, ask questions, and get clarification on things that they may have misheard or misinterpreted. I know I learned a lot today. I conducted my first Bitcoin transaction, and
fantastic.
I loved hearing the different sides of things because I approach it from a different standpoint than other currency traders. Anyway, it was a fantastic learning experience, and I was glad that everybody was able to be here to clear up, learn, and expand our knowledge base so that we can work towards changing regulations. And yeah.
I mean, I came here to enlighten and to share knowledge, but as soon as I started talking, someone else's idea popped up, and I was like, why didn't I think of that? That's brilliant. That works because that's exactly what I'm trying to do, and that was just within the first half an hour. Exactly what Katie said. It was the sharing of ideas and the mixing of the two groups. I think both groups will benefit from it.
Yeah, agreed.